कला अकादमीत जाल्लेल्या डायरेक्टर्स ॲक्टर या इन कन्वर्सेशन सेशनान अनिल कपूर उलयलो.
Good evening. I like it already. Anil sir, you've done so much. You've done films from Ram Lakhan to Beta to Pukar to Bulandi, everything. What is the one thing that you haven't done and you want to do? Googly?
Started watching film. I was very in awe of Dilip Kumar Sahab, all his films, Raj Kapoor Sahab, Dev Sahab, his style. Then of course came Shani Kapoor, his style, and so many others. And then of course the younger generation, all the films which Tom Hanks has done, like Philadelphia, and all his the kind of commitment, the kind of work he has done, Castaway, Forrest Gump. And then Al Pacino, his films, and Justice for All, Scarface, these kind of roles, and of course then came the great Daniel
Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, and all his films, and the last film of his which I saw was Phantom Thread, where he plays a master, a tailor. The kind of detailing, the kind of work he's done in that kind of film, I would love to do something like that. All the roles which he has done. The kind of the way he did Lincoln. If I get a character which is a historic character, which somewhere, obviously historic characters is a certain kind of character where your face has to be some resemblance has to be there. So if I get that kind of a character, if I can work on it, and if I have a writer and a director who can, I can work under, learn from him, and I can, I would love to do those kind of films. And of course, all the films Nasiruddin Shah has done, like Sparsh, I would love to do I've never played a blind man in any of my films. I'm looking forward to it. There are so many scripts which have come but have not been really satisfied. Matter of fact, I spoke to my international agents and my friends over there. I said if I can get the adaptation rights of Centfu, I would love to do it. Al Pacino's great scene he had where he talks about not about the academic education, which is not important. Important is the spirit. That scene which he did in front of the students and the panel which is sitting on the stage is, I just keep on watching that scene again and again and again,
प्रकाश झा यांचे मूवी सदाच सोसायटीक कनेक्ट करतात. अशाच प्रकारचो त्यांचो एक मूवी परीक्षा. या मूवीच्या निमतान प्रकाश झा आणि आदिल हुसेन या दोघी जाणां एकठांय येयल्ले.
Pariksha, and I was going through it yesterday, is about education. And what I'm seeing, sir, is that you bring such compelling real-life stories onto the screen. In spite of the aura and the splendor that the silver screen has, you've been able to win audiences worldwide with your stories, You have such a fan following. And when we watch your films, we kind of willingly suspend our disbelief in the sense that we set aside all doubts and we kind of go into the story and you immerse us into it. Your films have obviously had a huge emotional impact on all of us. I'm a big fan of yours, and makes us contemplate our questions and our thoughts. Where do you get this inspiration from? You've spoken a lot about borrowing from real life. Could you share that journey with us? Can you tell us and the audiences about where does this come from? This whole power of compelling stories that you have.
It indeed would be very difficult for me to pinpoint in one direction, say this is where I get my inspiration from. But I think like all of you, like all of us, I am generally interested in whatever is happening around me, within the society, in the country. Generally, things keep happening all the time. And I want to know why something is happening the way it is happening. What impact it is bringing about, a small chip invented in Japan affects the people in my village. How does it happen? So as things unfold, stories emerge, characters emerge, and once the equations become clearer, I'm eager to share it, as a film. So it's not entirely drawn from a real story, but it is an assimilation of experiences, things, incidents, characters, drama, fiction, which eventually turns out to be a screenplay and a film that I come up with. Always very scared, very afraid whether my interpretation of the story is going to be understood, is going to engage my audience or not. But somehow it happens, and when it happens, it is magic. That's all I can say.
Adil, I turn to you, and I want to take a leaf of that thought which Prakash ji has said. Yesterday when I heard you at your session on skill development, and you said that there are certain liberties, there are certain aspects of life that an actor portrays. Maybe not your exact words, but that's what I interpreted it. And seeing so many of your films, in every role you've kind of essayed, you've given the character a real life feeling. I mean, you believe the characters that you portray, and I'm talking from an audience perspective. And that's where I think the appeal of Adil Hussain really lies, And as an actor, how much of liberties do you take in that real life characters that you portray? Or is it predefined by the director?
Good question, because when I read the script, I read it, if I decide to do the film, then I read it several times to the point that I know why these 5 W's that Stanislavski talks about, like who, where, when, what, and why. So I don't have to analyze it intellectually, but just by reading the script again and again and again and again, it sort of sinks, those questions, those answers sink into my system, and you know why this person is behaving the way this person is behaving in a particular given circumstances. And I try to find the point of identification, like how close this character is to me and my life. Do I have similar or certain experiences in my life which sort of I can identify with?
इफ्फीच्या निमित्ताने नेहमीच असे जातं की वेगवेगळे डायरेक्टर्स प्रोड्युसर्स गोंयांत येतात. त्याचप्रमाणे आमच्या वांगडा आयज एक मोदी जी की बेटी म्हणून अंडर प्रोडक्शन फिल्म असलेले तेजे डायरेक्टर आमच्या समोर असतात. त्याच्याकडे जाणून घ्या की या फिल्माचे त्यांनी निर्माण कशें केलां आणि मोदी जी की बेटी हे टायटल कशें कितें तेंच्या तकलेन येयलें तें. सो कॅन यू टेल अस मोर अबाउट दिस फिल्म मोदी जी की बेटी?
Well, it's as the name suggests, it's a comical film, a beautiful family comedy with good action. It's a story of aspiring actors and story of 2 terrorists. That's all I can tell you, who are aspiring to become terrorists. And the film has a beautiful message of how certain things can mislead. And besides that, I can just say for the moment that it's a must-watch for the entire family. It's being very well received by most of my colleagues of the fraternity who are talking already about the film. Just have a good look at the film and then we can take things forward. And the film is supposed to release somewhere in 2019, so it's still under production at the moment.
So, but why only Modi ji ki beti? Why only Modi?
Why only Modi? It's a film which is inspired from a real story, first of all. And the story has been written by a very dear close friend who's also a part with whom this incident had happened. and she herself actually is playing the lead role of this film. And the film can have anyone, and it's not a political film. One must not mistake this as a political film. It's a plain coincidence that the title Modi Ji Ki Beti itself could be anyone. That's how it is. And as of now, as of the time, it's a hot subject, so people probably are finding the name within the title very interesting. And more will be revealed only once the film is there for you all to watch.
What do you want to say about International Film Festival of India?
Well, I've been a regular at the IFFI, and right from the time when IFFI originally started at City Fort in New Delhi. In fact, even before that, when it, not even City Fort, when IFFI used to do its rounds at the various cinema halls of Delhi. And of course, I think it's been about 13 odd years or 15 years now that it's moved to Goa. Uh, it's a fantastic platform, has been a fabulous platform always, not only for the entire film industry in India but across the globe. So we get to meet people, exchange views, understand world cinema, talk about commercials. A very good platform for producers, directors, exhibitors, a platform for people to come and know more about the films that are coming. And I think it's a lovely place, and it's a fantastic opportunity for the entire community to come across on one platform on one day and meet within these 10 days and exchange notes.
चैतन्य प्रसाद, किरण शांताराम, A.K. बीर आणि मारियान बॉज यांच्यानी IFFI 2019च्या ओपन फोरमाचे इनॉग्रेशन केले.
Golden Jubilee of the International Film Festival happening in Goa, and I'm very happy that we got a good friend of mine, Mr. Chaitanya Prasad, who is a director of film festival here. I would just like to mention one thing, that for last so many years we are conducting this open forum under the Federation for International Film Festival of India. And I think this is the platform where we showcase new films. We are creating the new audience for the cinema. I'm happy that this year, on the 50th year, we are participating in this. Only thing I'm requesting the Government of India, Information Broadcasting Ministry, and sir, my friend, Mr. Chaitanya Prasad, that we were having this for 7 days. Please see that now, from the next year, we should get 7 days open forum, so we can bring more makers into the open forum, because now because of the 3 days, a lot of limitation comes for the open forum. So yes, we get 7 days. I hope the Government of India and the Information Broadcasting Ministry and the Director of the Film Festival and the Secretary, of course, will listen to my saying. I welcome to you, all of you, and I am very thankful that this kind of open forum is happening in Goa. I am happy and wish you all the best for this 50th year film festival.
One of the key additions of the 50th edition IFFI is the open forum. Thank you very much for being kind enough to consider me to come over here. This is a forum which floats new ideas, new concepts, new narratives for cinema to move ahead. It's a forum which has a tradition, a legacy for itself. When you talk about cinema, different aspects of cinema, the open forum is one of the leading lights and platforms as far as it is. Shantaranji had mentioned about extending the duration of the open forum. He mentioned it to my secretary, and he mentioned it to us about 2 months back. But by that time, unfortunately, we had fixed up the entire programming. Ladies and gentlemen, you are here as delegates to watch and to observe the way the programming in the cinema process has been put in place. I am sure with the blessings of all delegates and all participants, you would be having a good time. To watch movies of content, what we've done essentially is to balance contemporary and and old cinema, trying to bring about the confluence of ideas and images on the screen. We've tried to put new ideas and new features. I'm sure the open forum would have a much more robust kind of debate on the kind of trajectory cinema needs to take place in the years to come, especially with the advent of digital cinema.
लेटर्स, सनरायज आणि ममत्व हे तिनूय पिक्चरां इंडियन नॉन फीचर फिल्म सेक्शनान सिलेक्ट जाल्यात. लेटर्साचो डायरेक्टर नितीन शिंगल, सनरायजाची डायरेक्टर विभा बक्षी आणि ममत्वाची डायरेक्टर कीर्ती ही तिगूय पत्रकार परिशदेन उलयली.
Sunrise is shot in Haryana. I went into a state which unfortunately has the most disturbing statistics when it comes to crime against women. But it is from this unlikeliest place I found my heroes. I found ordinary men who are doing the extraordinary to change the narrative on gender inequality, on gender justice.
My film is called Letters, and it's loosely inspired from Mr. Devanand's life. Now, when I say that, I got to know about Devanand that he used to read letters and he used to censor letters before he became an actor. And when I heard that, I researched about him, and then I started getting into the depth of the subject. So what I found was a lot of letters were written by the soldiers during wars, during World War I, World War II. And the censorship became very rampant in World War II because a lot of espionage used to happen. So my film deals with a soldier, Indian soldier, who fought with the Britishers during the World War time, because we all know that Indians were part of the British Empire, and they were sent in hordes to fight casualties of war. So it's about this soldier, Dev Pandit. I've named the character Dev Pandit. It's a subtle tribute to Mr. Devanand. And it's his journey. He couldn't fight on the battlefield. We all know what a battlefield would look like. But the story emotes the emotion of soldiers at the battlefield through the letters. And when those letters are censored, when soldiers write those letters and those letters are censored by these people, you get to know the half information about the soldier, but as a family, you would never know where they are, what they are up to, stuff like that. So it became such a compelling story for me to tell that I tried to weave a narrative inspired from real incidents. And most of the letters used in the film are inspired from the real letters written by soldiers all over the world. And I think it's a narrative which brings a lot of depth to the soldiers. It's a tribute to the soldiers, which kept their families alive, their hopes alive, knowing that they have somebody out there, and who are part of their family. So that's what Letters is all about.
Mamatva means motherhood, and Mamatva is my Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute diploma film. It is in Braj language. I belong to UP. So this film basically, the story was actually the idea was told by my mother like 10-15 years ago. I was very young. She was telling, when women don't become mothers, what this thing does. And somehow this idea stayed with me. And when last year our institute said that we can go anywhere in India and shoot our film, so I decided to go back to my roots itself. And then I went there, and so this thing, contrast I wanted to play with. So there is a woman who used to be the midwife of the village, and what if she herself cannot become a mother? So what would that whole emotion do to her? So first it is a very internal thing, and how this internal thing becomes an external conflict and affects the larger society. So I have tried to explore motherhood through this film because it is not that you need to have a baby to feel the emotion of motherhood. You arrive at it. Like, I also love babies like a mother does. But what if somebody who wants to have a baby and doesn't have it? What happens to her? So it's the journey of the central character Rama. She arrives at the meaning of motherhood. It's motherhood basically explores the darker side of the emotion of motherhood. And
इफ्फी 2019 गोवन स्टोरीज म्हणून स्पेशल सेक्शन केल्लो आसा. तेचो प्रिमियर म्हणून दुलू चित्रपटाची नेमणूक जाल्या. त्या निमतान दुलू पिक्चराचो एक मेंबर आमच्या लागीं उलयलो.
खरेंच खूब खुशालकाय भोगता. इंटरनॅशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल ऑफ इंडिया आनीक हें 50वें एडिशन. ह्या 50व्या एडिशनाक आमचें दुलूचो प्रिमियर आनी तोय बी आयताराक 24 तारखेर 3:30 वरांचेर मार्कनीस पॅलेस स्क्रीन 1 जाता. खूब उमेद जाता. आनीक आमचे सगळे आर्टिस्ट ज्या सगळ्या आर्टिस्टांक आमी हाडूंक शकना पूण थोडे भोव आमचे मेन कलाकार आसात ते ह्या वेळार हाजीर आसतले. हांव सगळ्यां लागीं मागतां जे डेलिगेट्स जावं गेस्ट जावं इन्वायटी आसात तेणी येवचें आनीक हें आमचें जें किरकोळ आमी काम केलां तें पळोवचें.
आनी डुलू ह्या टायटलाचो मिनींग कितें?
दुलू हो टायटल इतल्या खातीरच आमी दवरला. तितूंत एक कॅरेक्टर आसा डेल्फिनो. पूण लोक ताका आनीक बाकीचे जे शेजारी जावं तेजे घरचीं ताका दुलू म्हणटा, एक पॅट नेम कशें. आनी ह्याच पॅट नेमाचो परत परत उच्चार जायत रावता. आमी थारायलें की तेंच नांव आमी आमच्या ह्या फिल्माक कित्याक दिवचें न्हय. आमच्या फिल्माचें ड्युरेशन 2 वरांचें आसा आनीक हे फ्युचर कॅटेगरीक हे दाखोवपाचो प्रयत्न जाता.
ही स्टोरी तुमकां कशी कितें सुचली आनी कसो कितें रायटअप हेचो स्टोरीचो?
हांव दर म्हयन्यांतल्यान 1-2 तरी स्टोरी बरयतां आनीक ह्यो स्टोरी म्हज्यो चडसो आमचो आवाज एक कोंकणी पेपर येता जावं गुलाब एक म्हयन्याळें येता. ह्या म्हयन्याळ्यांतल्यान ह्यो स्टोरी पब्लीश जाता. हांवें ज्यो स्टोरी बरयल्यात तितूंतल्यान म्हाका विश्वास आसा की दर एका स्टोरीचो एक पिक्चर जावपाक शकता. अशा वेळार जेन्ना आमी तिगांनी हांव रमी आनीक अविनाशान आमी डिस्कस केलें तेन्ना अशें दिसलें की ही स्टोरी आमी कित्याक वापरची न्हू. कारण हितूंतल्यान एक वेगळे तरेची कॉमेडी आमी दिवपाचो प्रयत्न केला. खरें म्हाका तेजें भितरलें जें कितें आसा तें म्हाका सांगपाचें ना. कारण दर एका मनशान येवचें आनी पळोवचें पिक्चर. ही स्टोरी खरेंच आमी कॉमेडी फिल्म गोंयचे खातीर एक वेगळें कॉमेडी फिल्म दिवपाचो प्रयत्न करतात. सो सगळें तुमच्या मुखार आसा आनीक तुमी तें येवन पळोवचें.
ह्या वर्सा इफ्फीच्या निमतान मिरामार हांगासर स्पेशल ओपन स्क्रिनींगची वेवस्था केल्ली आसा. ज्या सिनेमोगींनी इफ्फी 2019 रेजिस्टर करूंक ना त्यांनी सुद्धा इफ्फी 2019चो आस्वाद घेवं येता.
हमारा एडमिशन भी हो गया है. पैसा ना 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 लोन लेके आधा पैसा तो भर दिया है. अच्छा. और बाकी शिक्षा मंत्री अवार्ड जब दिए थे तो प्रॉमिस किए थे फाइनेंशियल हेल्प के लिए, तो बाकी उनसे हो जाएगा. शिक्षा मंत्री
सेंट्रल बोर्ड ऑफ फिल्म सर्टिफिकेशनाचो चेअरमॅन प्रसून जोशी इफ्फीच्या सोहळ्याक उपस्थित आसलो. त्या निमतान तो इफ्फी बद्दल आणि आयच्या डिजिटल प्लॅटफॉर्मा बद्दल पत्रकारां वांगडा उलयलो.
I think Goa has become almost synonymous with IFFI now, and this is the 50th year. It tells you that there is a certain commitment to this, and this is continued for. It's very easy to start things, but to continue, it's not always easy. And I think that the fact that it's celebrating 50 years, it's really incredible. And I feel one should understand that these kind of festivals are very important for youngsters who want to learn about films, want to know more about films. And apart from experts, I would say the youngsters who really want to get into the profession, there are two sides to it you can see. One is the side of the creative side, where I will be talking about script writing, for example, tomorrow. And then there is a commercial side, the professional side of it, how to market films. So I think it tries to cover and balance both. So my best wishes for all the people who have organized it, and I think as Honorable Minister said in his speech also, I think it has got great potential, and our Chief Minister here has shown great support. Congratulations to him. My best wishes. I think Goa has not only a film festival, but a lot of other festivals. We've been here for advertising festival. I've also been part of that profession, and I can see. So this is a destination where there is something seems to work. You know, nothing can happen, and I think one must, apart from people who come from outside, I think we must admire the local people here who welcome people. I see Goan people have great heart, and one basic reason for festivals and any events being successful here is the love local people show to the people who come from outside. So I think that in that regard, Goa is an exceptional place.
Any more things that needs to be developed as far as IFFI is concerned in Goa?
I think more technological advancement is required. I think more venues for events are required. I think those things are all work in progress, and I think as more sort of opportunities come forward, I think we could see, I can see in near future, you'll see many more event venues which will be more equipped to sort of handle mammoth events would emerge. I think those are the ones one should focus. The infrastructure and the process becoming more smoother.
We don't see growth in animation and 3D.
Absolutely, I see a lot of growth in animation 3D. I think content is going to be ruling. So all kinds of content. See, people today are creating a lot of content on their own, and we will see these changes going even further. And with AI coming in now, you will see a different future. But today we are very segmented, and people can pick and choose what they like. Okay, so it might be only 5,000 people interested in that kind of content, but still find people producing that. Earlier it was not. Earlier I had to watch maybe, which is for everyone. You know, I wanted something specific. I couldn't get it. Today you can get it because the market is segmented. You can watch it on your. Everything is personalized.
So what do you have to say about this type of living movies aside, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and all?
See, these are all realities of the new world. See, we will see as they are emerging. Who says tomorrow you might be watching a film in your dream, for all you know.